I'm going to work on the installation of my my Uniden R3. Should be a pretty simple install. I'm going to pull this out here and test and see. I've never done a mirror tap in a GT3, so I might try mirror tapping first, and then we'll see what happens. If not, it's a pretty simple installation to run down the headliner, through the A-pillar here, and into this fuse box. So either way, it's a pretty simple install. I'm going to see, I think the lift is going to make this a little bit of an easier job for me. I've got this section here, so I'm going to pull this, so all I have to do is just pry this, it pops right out, and this pulls apart. Alright, so you can see how this works. You basically have to get over your fear, just pull it apart. So there's two clips here, and then it clips together in the center. Basically what you need to do is you need to pop it apart. And so I took this little fingernail thingy that Derek from Sound of Motion sent me, stuck it up there and just pop it apart. And just as I thought, there really isn't a good place to mirror tap this. So, like the Fords have a piece in the back of the mirror that just plugs right in, which is easy to get to. So this one, I'm going to do it just like I did before. My previous GT3, we're going to run the wire up over the headliner. I'm going to pop this loose here, and we'll run it down to the fuse box. Alright, so you just pop this little piece off just by peeling upward. Pull back the rubber stripping, which makes a huge mess. So we'll pull this back and then reinstall. I think I have to take this out, but the thing that stinks is there's a weird plug here on this that I always end up breaking, or a tab that I think I need to take it off. I'm going to try to fish the wires without messing with that. Here's our wiring kit, and then I've got a little fuse tap that will plug into an empty fuse spot. Alright, this piece here is pretty simple in that we just stick our tool up and pry it, right? So I take my little fingernail tool and I just put it up like this, pop, pop, and that comes out. Now this is the tricky one. I'm gonna make sure that I don't mess this up. Okay, I got it. See, this is the part you want to make sure you don't break, right? So we have a clip here, Velcro there, and then a clip here. And so you want to make sure you don't push that way, you want to bring it back this way. And so now we have exposure here, because the key is you got to find a spot to ground to, which will ground to right there. All right, so now we're open, and I mean, that took all of, if I wasn't trying to film, it'd take all of 20 minutes. So the key is not breaking this tab so that we don't end up with a droopy panel that's always falling off. The other tricky part is going to be putting it back in. So let's set this aside and let's run our wires. Generally what I end up doing is I'll do the top first and then come back and run the wire, and then we'll cut the wire to length. So we want to get the top all set up with our Uniden and our wiring first. Alright, so here's our Blendmount, which has the long post, or the new Uniden connection. Right, and so this is the Porsche version, or the one designed for the 911. And so what we do is we'll take this and put it up here, clamp it on. So this is our Blendmount, looks like rough. I'm going to work on tweaking the angle and everything. Because of where the position of the power is here, I don't think I'm going to need to run it out the back, right? So I had pinched it, the back of these little plastic pieces here in the past, but I think I'm going to run it to the side this time. So the power is going to run out to the side here. So I'm going to work on positionally where that looks like. So I'm going to get this, these plastic pieces put back on. All right, now that I got the Blendmount somewhat in position, I can start to figure out how the wiring is going to look here and bring it down. So I'm going to put this plate back in place. First I'm going to mount my radar detector and kind of see where the wiring needs to go. I was able to squeeze the wire right up the side here. so it looks nice and clean. I'll play with the angle a bit, but I want to be able to reach right here. I can touch the buttons. So you got the wire running down the A pillar, comes all the way down here. This is our wire right here. And then into here, and now I gotta figure out which fuse we're gonna tap here and use. Alright, so I had to run to the store to get the proper size fuse tap because the one I had was too small. Alright, so I found a switched spot. See, there's 2 fuses right to the left of it, right next to it. So I just put 2. I put a 10 and a 5 amp in there, so we're good.
This one?
Yep. See how it goes in? Just a little bit.
Which way? That way?
Yep, toward me. There we go. Alright, so now we have power, and I turn the key, Rye. Turn it the other way. Off. Turn it back again.
That way?
Yep. And we're on. Sweet. Alright, there we go. Install. Nice and clean. So there's our Uniden R3. Alright, so I'm sitting here in the RS. It's been a couple of months since I installed the Uniden R3, which is right next to us, right here, right? And so I have it on a blend mount, which is my favorite thing in this world. I have it hardwired up through the car, which you saw the basic install. I didn't do a particularly good video. It's so hard to video inside of this car, especially by myself. And so I'm sitting here in the driveway, and I'm going to take you through the settings that I've stolen from my friend Ariel at Vortex Radar. He owns and operates his company's vortexradar.com. If you're going to buy a radar detector, and if you're somewhat discerning, just go there, listen to the dude. He's 100% right. I mean, this Uniden R3 is better than I'd hoped it would be. I can't believe how few false alarms I'm getting. I'm going to show you the settings that I've chosen to set it up, which I've basically stolen from Ariel. I think I made a few tweaks to what his recommended settings are, but I'm running it in city mode, and I'm gonna walk you through all the different settings. But man, I haven't even had to do any lockouts by pressing the button twice. So I'm not proposing to be an expert. I'm just going to take you through this briefly just so you'll know where to go and point you in the right direction. I'm not obsessed with radar detectors. I just wanted to look clean. I want the install to be clean, and I want it to be, I want it to work. And I want it to work well, but I'm not willing to sacrifice. Like, I don't want to put laser. We don't really have laser around here very, I can tell you maybe twice in the last 10 years have I actually gotten a laser warning anywhere in this area of the state. Alright, so I have Vortex Radar's site open so that I can basically read from this, and I'm going to walk you through. He has a video walkthrough that shows you how to program and tells you everything there is to know about this thing. So I can't do it justice, so he's going to take you through that. And then on here, he walks through each setting. So he does it in a video in long form, and then explains what each individual menu setting chronologically, what each one does, right? And so then, as you kind of work through each thing, you could slide to the bottom here, and he has a general recommended settings set up, for each section. So I'm going to give you my take on how I set mine up, and then you'll be able to do the same for yours. I'm like I said, I'm really pleased with this radar detector. So I'm going to hit menu to enter the menu, and then I'm going to scroll through. So GPS, obviously I'm going to want that on so that it knows where I'm at, and then I can either mark a user point, which I'll never do, or do a GPS lockout. Right, so I would hit, and I think I double hit in order to GPS lockout. So let's turn our volume down a little bit here, and then I'll make it easier for us. So you can go menu, GPS is on, speed cameras on. Right, we want speed cameras, which I don't have any around here, but in Orlando we do. Red light cams. Actually, I take that back. We don't have speed cams around here that I know of, but I'll leave that on, so I doubt it's going to be an issue. But red light cameras we definitely have. And then red light camera quiet ride, I set to 50 miles an hour. We get this a lot. You're on the turnpike, you're driving through on 408, you're driving through Orlando, and the red light cameras are nowhere nearby. And so when you put RLC on, it'll quiet it if you're doing over 50 miles an hour. Right? I should probably bump that up. Let's bump it up to 60. Right, so it'll be quiet if I'm over 60 miles an hour. Voice is on, so that indicates, you know, what our band is. X band off, K band on, KA band on. Pretty much everything here in this area is KA band exclusive, right? Lasers on, K-pop, pop radar off, and KA pop is off. I don't think any police use that. K filter is on. The K filter will help filter out things on red lights and things like that. So you definitely want that on. And also from other cars, you know, we'll have some, so we'll emit some K band. The KA filter off. If you turn that on, then you'll reduce some of the signal strength, you know, some of the strength of it. So this is a traffic sensor filter. I don't know. I've never seen or heard of any of those around here, so I think we're good to leave that off. K I've set to wide. I have KA set to wide. I have KA as the priority, you know, so that'll prioritize KA band because that's what most police use around here. All threats are on. Color set to blue. Let's see that you can set what your, you know, what your display looks like. Speed is obviously miles per hour. I leave it as default tones, right? So all these tones are set to default. Backlight on, quiet ride. So if I'm driving less than 25 miles an hour and there's radar, it won't mess with it. It won't turn on. Speed limit is off, so it won't give me any. That's my normal time set. I don't use the clock on this anyway. Daylight savings time is off. I forget what BAT warning is, but that's off. Same here. Self-test off. Self-test would be a run through a cycle when you turn it on, so we're not going to do that. Factory reset, no. Delete all, mute, no. And then I need to update the firmware. I think current firmware is 1.37. I need to get a PC so I can update it. So anyway, those are the settings that I'm using. So as I said, it's a pretty simple video. Go back and watch the Vortex stuff. Uniden R3 is awesome. I'd highly recommend it. It's 400 bucks. You know, get a Blendmount. It's another, what, 100 and something, 120. Hey, Kate, what are you doing? Can you say hi to everybody? Where were you guys?
At soccer.
Soccer? Were you playing soccer or Rai playing soccer?
Soccer.
Are you all dirty? You want to come sit in here with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap up the video together. So, as I was saying, the Uniden R3, I think it's the best simple radar detector. You know, put a post on Instagram, somebody said, well, the Stinger or the blah, blah, blah. Of course, a custom install with AL priority is going to be better. But I think that this is the, you know, this is the standard current environment. So if you have a V1, I've had a V1, I gave that to my dad. He's still using it, it's great. But the V1 is pretty false alarm crazy. I know you can really work at it to program it, but the range is nowhere near as good as something like this. So same thing with the Passport Max or Passport Max 360 or the new, whatever the 360 is called with Wi-Fi. It costs a lot more than this, and the interesting thing is this thing feels really cheap. It feels really chintzy. It's like there's nothing inside the thing. There's a little chip in there and it's just a plastic box. I think they could probably make it smaller. But regardless, this is you know, pretty awesome device. So I'd highly recommend it. I bought another one for the Gen 2 Raptor. I'm going to put it in there. And I'll probably eventually replace my Passport Max in the S2000. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more details.
Can I close the door?
The doy?
The door.
The what?
The door.
Can you say bye, everybody?
Bye.
Can you say stay tuned for more crazy?
Stay tuned to my crazy.
No, stay tuned for more crazy.
Stay tuned to my crazy.
Alright, see you later.
See you later.
What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.